This is verse 23 of the 16th chapter, Gospel of Matthew. Peter has just rebuked Jesus, trying to straighten him out because Jesus has intimated that he must go to Jerusalem to suffer and ultimately be crucified. And Peter will have none of it, having already explained to Jesus that he's the Christ. He begins to try to educate him, and of course Jesus stops him in his tracks, and we have this response here in verse 23. So ho, this is an article, but it stands here as the pronoun he. Aorist participle, strophes. It's the aorist passive participle, masculine singular nominative, referring to Jesus, the subject of the sentence. He having turned from strepho, to turn, so having turned, or actually in the passive, having been turned, you might say, almost as if it was acting on him from outside, postpositive da. So he, having turned apen, said, aorist, third person singular, of lego I say, to petro, indirect object in the dative singular. He, having turned, said to Peter, hupage, from hupago, means to go away, to get away, really. It's kind of a strong word, get away. Episo, preposition, takes the genitive. Get away from me, or get behind me. Episo means behind, so get behind me. Satana, this is the word Satan. It's actually derived from the Old Testament Hebrew word Satan, which means prosecutor. In the New Testament tends to be used more as a proper name, but it still has that same sense to it. So Peter is now being addressed in the worst possible way. Jesus responds to him almost in the same words that he responded to Satan himself, of course, in the wilderness temptation setting. So get behind me, Satana, Satan. Skandalon, a scandal. A stumbling block is the idea. Peter was, of course, Petros, a rock. Now he's become a very negative rock. Stumbling block here. A, second person singular of me, I am. A stumbling block. A, you are. Em me, a mu, of me. My scandal, my stumbling block, you are. Hoti, preposition, because. Phrenes, from phreneo, means to think, and this is the negation. You are not thinking. Second person singular, present active indicative, you're not thinking. Ta, the accusative, neuter plural, noun, the things. To theu, of God, you're not thinking about God's perspective, the things that pertain to God. Allah, strong conjunction. Ta, but the tone, anthropon, the things of men. So Peter, in spite of his insight into the theology of Jesus, doesn't really comprehend the theology he articulated. And Jesus now, in no uncertain terms, has to correct what is his misguided understanding of the character of what it means to be the Messiah.